Are you struggling to overcome challenges and find peace amidst suffering? In this video, we are diving deep into the concept of how to force oneself to suffer, a seemingly paradoxical idea that holds the key to profound personal growth and liberation. Lesson 1. Be open to trying new things, even if they make you uncomfortable. It is easy for us to get into everyday routines and behaviors that seem safe and consistent. We go towards the known since it gives us peace. This security, though, can also become a trap, restricting our experiences and stifling our development. Buddhism exhorts us to face this inclination and welcome discomfort as inevitable on our path of spiritual development. You are bringing dukkha into your life when you will yourself to try novel activities. Though it seems bad, in fact, this presents a chance for development and learning. Every fresh experience, from picking up a new ability to meeting new people to traveling to far-off locations, offers an opportunity to grow personally and in view of the planet. Your pain indicates that you are stretching your limits, questioning your presumptions, and allowing fresh opportunities to open themselves to you. Take the practice of meditation, for instance. Many people find it difficult, if not frightening, to sit still in silence for a long time. Through meditation, though, we learn to sit with discomfort, to see our ideas and feelings free from judgment, and to grow more conscious of our inner world. The first discomfort of meditation is a natural aspect of learning to be present with whatever emerges, whether it be positive or negative. In the same vein, being receptive to novel activities helps us to engage in mindfulness and action. Approaching fresh events with openness and curiosity helps us to see our reactions free from clinging to them or pushing them away. Knowing that pain is transient and that it is a useful teacher, we learn to sit with discomfort. Greater empathy and compassion can also result from this readiness to welcome discomfort. Stepping into the future and letting ourselves be vulnerable helps us to better appreciate the difficulties others experience. As we grow more sensitive to the suffering of others, this awareness helps us to motivate us to behave with more compassion and decency. To force oneself to suffer in this way is to choose development over comfort, to give the expansion of your consciousness top priority above the transient ease of staying inside your comfort zone. It is a courageous deed and a declaration of your will to follow the road of awakening. Accepting discomfort helps you not only change your own life, but also help others by making you a more sympathetic and forgiving person. Lesson 2. Learn to say no to things that may not be good for you in the long run. Saying no is about choosing for your beliefs and long-term well-being, not about denial or deprivation. It's about realizing not every chance, relationship, or goal is worth going for. Many of the things we pursue, material goods, social status, or transient pleasures, can, in fact, cause more misery down the road. This thought is intimately connected in Buddhism to the notion of tanha, or yearning. Tanha is the ravenous need for things we think will make us happy, but which frequently causes additional sorrow. Giving in to tanha is like saying yes to something maybe detrimental for us. We are letting our appetites lead instead of our wisdom. Learning to say no helps one to escape the cycle of sorrow and need. It is a self-compassion deed since it helps us to guard our mental and emotional health. It is also a statement of wisdom since it forces us to contemplate the long-term effects of our decisions and go past instant satisfaction. For example, you can be offered an opportunity that appears interesting and forward-looking right now, but after more thought, you find it does not fit your values or long-term aspirations. It can be a job offer that calls for you to compromise your integrity, a relationship that saps your vitality, or a lifestyle decision that causes burnout. Saying no in these circumstances is acknowledgement of your value and a dedication to lead a life consistent with your values. Denying is not always simple. It could cause guilt, anxiety about missing out, or worries about disappointing others. In Buddhism, nevertheless, these difficulties are considered as chances for development. Saying no causes uncomfortable feelings. Thus, you are pushing yourself to suffer in a way that results in more freedom and inner peace. Saying no to things that are bad for you helps you to make room for the things that are really important. You create the option of leading a life more in line with your principles and more concentrated on what truly makes you happy and fulfilled. This calls for honest and great degrees of self-awareness. You have to be ready to look at your goals and aspirations, doubt whether they really serve your best interest, and make decisions that will help you down road. Learning to say no so becomes a mindfulness and discernment practice. It's about comprehending your selection's influence, being totally present with your options, and choosing actions that forward your greatest good. It's about developing a strong feeling of self-respect and respecting your dedication to your own spiritual road. Lesson 3. Appreciate the good things in your life and the people around you. You are choosing to interact with life more totally when you will yourself to suffer in this way. You are choosing to savor every moment knowing it will not last, and to find beauty in the transient character of things. A strong counterpoint to the inclination to take things for granted or to ignore the blessings in our life is this habit of deliberate gratitude. Take the basic act of dining with loved ones, for instance. It is easy to overlook the broader meaning of the moment and concentrate on the little elements: the meal, the chat, the environment. But when you apply mindfulness to the experience, you start to see the value of the time you spend with others, the link you have with them, and the reality that this moment will never be repeated exactly the same way. This realization of impermanence might also enable us to develop thankfulness. We are more likely to value what we already have while we have it when we realize everything is fleeting. Whether it's our health, our relationships, our chances, or the small pleasures of daily living, we start to notice the positive things in our existence. We come to see that the things we love will go eventually. Here is where suffering resides. But this sorrow is a sign of your potential to love profoundly and to live fully, not of weakness or negative attitude. It reminds us that life is valuable and that every moment presents chances to savor the richness of living. In Buddhism, this sort of suffering is considered as a path towards compassion. Appreciating the positive aspects in our life and the people around us helps us to remember the misery that other people could be going through. We get more sensitive to the hardships of others and more driven to lend our help and goodwill. You are developing a closer relationship to life and to people by making yourself suffer in this manner. You are choosing to live with an open heart, knowing the pleasures and losses involved. Furthermore, by doing this, you help to create a society that is more sympathetic and forgiving. Lesson 4. Build resilience and strength to overcome challenges. Building resilience and strength to surmount obstacles marks the fourth lesson in this road. Though tragedy is a natural aspect of life, our response to it will make all difference. Resilience in Buddhism is about turning pain into a source of learning and strength, rather than only about overcoming adversity. Resilience is the capacity to keep on even when the going becomes difficult, to bounce back from difficulty and to recover from mistakes. Rather than caving into hopelessness or defeat, our inner power lets us meet obstacles with bravery and drive. Resilience building is a kind of forced suffering since it forces you to face challenges head-on instead of avoiding them or acting as though they never exist. It calls on you to grow mentally and emotionally strong enough to gracefully and equanimity negotiate life's ups and downs. Resilience also depends on one realizing that dukkha is a normal feature of existence. We are less prone to be taken off guard by suffering or to feel victimized by it when we realize it is unavoidable. Rather, we might view suffering as a chance for development and learning and approach it with a spirit of inquiry and openness. Resilience helps us to process our feelings, learn from the experience, and finally find a way ahead under trying circumstances, include the death of a loved one, the end of a relationship, or a significant life transition. This implies that we let ourselves feel it totally and trust in our capacity to heal and develop from it, not that we ignore or suppress our suffering. Resilience also requires the habits of persistence and patience, one of the paramitas, or perfections, Buddhism regards as one that lead to enlightenment. Patience. It is the capacity to be calm and concentrated even in the face of hardship, and to bear trying circumstances without growing enraged or disappointed. Conversely, perseverance is the will to keep on even if the road is challenging. It is the will to keep on learning, practicing, and developing even in slow progress or when challenges seem insurmountable. Resilience is mostly formed by patience and tenacity, which help us to gracefully and powerfully negotiate the obstacles of life. Building resilience helps you to force yourself to suffer in a way that results in more wisdom and power. Knowing that every difficulty presents a chance for development and learning, you are choosing to meet them with bravery and will. And by doing this, you are developing the inner will required to conquer anything life presents. Lesson 5. Find ways to help and support others in your community. Helping and supporting others not only lessens their pain, but also helps you to change yourself. Focusing on the needs of others helps you to turn your attention from your own difficulties and obligations. This change of viewpoint can provide direction and gratification, since it helps you to see that you can influence the life of other people. Still, serving others is not always simple. It sometimes calls for you to venture beyond your comfort zone, give of your time, money, and resources, and face challenging circumstances. Helping others can thus be a kind of pain since it tests your ability to put the needs of others first. In Buddhism, this kind of unassuming service is considered as the road to enlightenment. Helping others is you following the bodhisattva path, that road of compassion and selflessness. A bodhisattva is someone who has reached a great degree of spiritual awakening, but choose to stay on earth to guide others towards enlightenment. This road is about accepting hardship rather than avoiding it as means of lessening the suffering of others. Take volunteering in your neighborhood. For instance, you are practicing kindness and compassion, whether you are supporting people in need, feeding the homeless, or lending your abilities to help others. This discipline enhances your own spiritual path in addition to aiding others. Helping others lets you develop empathy and compassion as well. You come to see the world from the point of view of others, to grasp their hardships and obstacles, and to provide meaningful and effective support. As you understand that everyone is related and that our well-being is dependent on the well-being of others, this development of empathy and compassion can lead to a greater sense of connection and belonging. Remember that lending a hand to others shouldn't come before your own welfare. Right action in Buddhism is the ability to strike a balance between looking after oneself and tending to others. It's about providing sustainably and holistically without sacrificing your own needs or burning yourself out. Helping and supporting others forces yourself to suffer in a way that results in more compassion, connection, and fulfillment. You choose to interact meaningfully with the world, improve the quality of life for others, and help your neighborhood to be healthy. And by doing this, you are not only helping others to suffer less, but also turning your own suffering into a source of knowledge and fortitude. Lesson 6. Know that nobody is perfect, including you. Many people battle a kind of anguish called perfectionism. It is the conviction that we have to be perfect in all we do, and that we always have to satisfy some criteria or expectations. As we always aim for an impossible ideal, this mindset could cause self-criticism, worry, and feelings of inadequacy. Loving kindness in Buddhism helps us to develop compassion for ourselves and others by realizing that everyone is flawed but doing the best we can. This practice is letting go of the need to be flawless and loving ourselves as they are, with all their flaws and shortcomings. By means of forced acceptance of imperfection, you are choosing to suffer in a manner that results in increased self-acceptance and inner peace. You are choosing to welcome the reality of your human experience and let go of the illogical expectations that bring you suffering. This acceptance is about realizing your flaws with compassion and understanding, then using them as chances for development and learning. It does not mean complacency or resignation. Think about your reaction, for instance, to mistakes or setbacks. One might easily fall into the trap of self-blame or criticism and view blunders as proof of your inferiority or failure. On the other hand, practicing self-compassion helps you to view mistakes as inevitable learning chances for development. You come to treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding you would show a friend, and to forgive yourself for your flaws. One can also expand this self-compassion practice to others. You are less prone to criticize or judge others for their flaws or blunders when you realize none of us are flawless. Rather, you come to approach people with empathy and compassion, realizing that they too are on their own road of development and learning. In Buddhism, the knowledge of imperfection is similarly related to the concept of dukkha. Dukkha tells us that pain is a natural part of life, that things do not always go as planned, and that we cannot control everything. Accepting this fact helps us to release the erroneous idea that life should always be perfect and learn to negotiate obstacles with more resilience and equanimity. You are choosing to suffer in a way that results in increased self-awareness, empathy, and inner serenity by pushing yourself to embrace flaws. You are choosing to love yourself and others as you are, with all your flaws and defects, rather than the urge to be flawless. And by doing this, you are fostering in others as well as yourself a greater acceptance and understanding. Lesson 7. Investigate the moment and take time to be present. Since it lets us completely experience the present moment and freed from previous regrets or future concerns, mindfulness is a great tool for changing pain. When we are conscious, we can see our ideas, emotions, and experiences with objectivity and clarity rather than allowing them to overpower us. Not always simple is practicing mindfulness. It calls on you to slow down, release distractions, and concentrate on the here and now. This can be awkward, particularly if you are accustomed to being always distracted or active. In this sense, mindfulness encourages you to be totally present with whatever is happening in the moment, even if it is difficult or unpleasant, therefore acting as a kind of coercion to suffer. In Buddhism, mindfulness is about acquiring a strong awareness of the transitory and linked character of all things, not only about being present. This consciousness enables us to perceive the world more clearly, to grasp the reasons of our suffering, and to grow in knowledge and compassion. When you practice mindfulness in trying circumstances, say a quarrel with a loved one or a demanding day at work, you are able to see your thoughts and emotions free from control. Without reacting quickly or allowing yourself to become caught up in them, you can feel the strain in your body, the rushing of your ideas, and the intensity of your emotions. This helps you to react to the matter more calmly and clearly than if your emotions carry you away. Mindfulness also enables us to discover beauty and meaning in the everyday events and to value the small pleasures of life. Even daily tasks like cleaning the dishes or going for a stroll can provide chances for awareness and mindfulness when you are totally present. You start to get more tuned to the richness of the present moment as you start to notice the specifics of your surroundings, the sensations in your body, and the flow of your breath. Time to be present and concentrate on the moment can help you to force yourself to suffer in a way that results in increased awareness, clarity, and inner calm. You are deciding to slow down, let go of distractions, and totally enjoy whatever is happening right now. You are also developing a closer relationship to the environment around you, to people, and to yourself. The discipline of making yourself suffer in the ways described in these courses is not about looking for suffering for its own sake. Rather, it is about seeing the difficulties and discomforts of life as chances for spiritual awakening, learning, and development. You are choosing to interact fully and deeply with all its pleasures and tragedies by being open to trying new things, learning to say no, appreciating the good things in life, building resilience, helping others, embracing imperfection, and being present in the moment. In Buddhism, suffering is considered as a teacher guiding us on the road to enlightenment rather than as a curse or a burden. It is also seen as a natural element of human existence. By making yourself suffer in these ways, you are not only changing your own life, but also helping others to flourish and a more sympathetic and caring society to be created.